Hey everybody, welcome to Let's Look at The Raven, as it's titled on the title screen, or more formally, if you're looking for it on Steam, The Raven - Legacy of a Master Thief. This is a new point-and-click adventure game from The Adventure Company, or That Adventure Company? I always forget that, you know, there's That Game Company. I think this is The Adventure Company, though, who have a kind of prodigious history in point-and-click adventures, especially recently, and as I understand it, this is kind of their most ambitious effort to date. Now, if I asked you, even if you are not a long-time viewer, name a genre that Northernlion is not an enormous fan of. After you said tower defense games, which would be a misnomer or a mistake, I do kind of enjoy certain tower defense games. Point-and-click adventure would probably be up there, and yes, indeed, I typically am a little bit of a detractor of the point-and-click adventure genre, not necessarily because I think the games are bad, but because the puzzle solving is usually obtuse, and my brain wasn't trained for it from, you know, basically the time that I was a young child. So I feel like I often struggle when solving these puzzles. That being said, I really liked Resonance last year, and usually there's like one appetite for point-and-click adventure games every year, or appetite for one point-and-click adventure game for me every year, and I think The Raven is actually it for me. If you're wondering, by the way, why I'm talking a lot at the title screen here, it's because once we get in there, there's a lot of really good voice work that I don't necessarily want to talk over. But yes, incredible voice work. Puzzles, pretty typical of the point-and-click adventure genre. Music is fantastic, and I really like the design of this game. I'm still not a huge fan of point-and-click adventure games, but if I was going to play one in this season, it would definitely be this. This is available on Steam right now for $25, I believe, and it's coming with one act, which I've already sunk well over an hour into, and there are other acts coming as well, which I believe you get with the purchase of the game. It's going to release, like, episodically, as far as I understand, but it comes with the first episode anyway, which is at least a few hours long based on how I've played so far. Anyway, we're going to do a new game, because obviously I have already... Oh yeah, there's 3 chapters here. We're going to do a new game because obviously I have already solved a lot of the puzzles, and I would find myself floundering pretty quickly, and maybe possibly spoiling something if I, you know, went in where I was in my game. So why don't we just start a new chapter here? And I will probably start, assuming... Oh, there we go, we're starting. I will probably start with a cutscene here, so I will just let the cutscene play so you can get kind of a feel for the quality of the voice acting and the graphics and the cutscenes and the story and the way it's told as well. It's a very kind of old-school Agatha Christie or mystery style. Almost, it kind of has a similar structure to, like, Sherlock on the BBC, actually, at least in the way that the episodes are set up at the very beginning. So it's a storytelling style that I definitely like a lot. I enjoyed a lot more than something like Deponia, where, I don't know, it was cartoony, and that's fine. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. I know people have certain styles that they prefer over others, but I prefer kind of like the more realistic, but also pulpy style that we've got going on in something like The Raven Legacy of a Master Thief here. And pretty soon, we should have some voice work in this cutscene so we can carry it itself. It is The Adventure Company. Get a feel for the excellent music as well. It is orchestrally scored. You're gonna hear it a few times over and over. It kind of reminds me of the theme song to, like, Are You Afraid of the Dark or something. One thing I will say is that, you know, the graphics in some of these cutscenes, I think they actually look a little worse than the graphics in-game sometimes. But it kind of reminds me of, like, Final Fantasy VII, or, you know, probably more accurately something on the PS2, maybe like Final Fantasy X, which is not necessarily meant as a compliment. But anyway, I'll shut up.
Harold? 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 You hear me? This is no time for fun and games.
Shh, calm down. I'm a copper. We're on the same side.
A copper? What are you doing here? And where's Harold?
Harold? Well, there's another guard back there unconscious. That's probably him. The Eye of the Sphinx. Where is it?
It's there.
Oh, good. Then he hasn't got it yet.
You mean the Raven's heir?
Shh, turn it off. He's gonna steal the eye.
But how do you know?
Doesn't matter. All that matters is that we catch him. Do you understand?
Yeah, but...
Do you understand? You and me, mate, we'll be heroes. All right, now, we just have to...
What?
Halt! Stop! You're under arrest!
So I believe that is going to bring the cutscene to an end here, but it starts us on, you know, nefarious ground, introducing this character of the Raven, who is a master thief. You can tell, you know, the voice work and, the voice work is good. The way that it syncs up with the lips is not always great, and similarly, the facial animation is not necessarily fantastic all the time as well. And the frame rate chugs along a little bit in these cutscenes as well. But you get a feel for the cinematic kind of style of the game. It's definitely told in a very cinematic kind of narrative style, as opposed to, I don't know, a game where you're just kind of completing puzzles to kind of push things along. This is very much story-driven, and there's a lot of dialogue written, and a lot of dialogue and cutscenes that you will be listening to as well. Now, I'm hoping that maybe we'll be able to sneak through this section here, because this is essentially just an opening credits scene, but I can do a little bit more background information. So essentially, during The Raven, Legacy of a Master Thief, you are playing as a Swiss police officer named, I think it's Jakob Anton Zellner, and you are on this train in 1960s Europe, and it's headed from, I believe it's headed from Paris to Venice, and then maybe on to Turkey, like Istanbul as well. Anyway, this is what I meant when I thought it looked a little bit like Final Fantasy VII. There's a cutscene in that that's almost exactly like this. But now that I think about it, the graphic quality is a little bit higher than that for sure. That's a little bit derisive. Yes, excellent music. Congratulations, Benny Oshman. I'm going to compliment that many times throughout this video, I'm sure. But yes, you're playing as a police officer on the Orient Express, I guess, in true Agatha Christie style. And you have your own kind of miniature mysteries to solve throughout this. Now, I'm going to solve a little bit. I'm going to solve a few of the puzzles that you have on this train here. Right now, they're just kind of introducing the characters. I don't want to solve the whole thing because I'm not 100% sure how long the act is, or the chapter, I guess I should say. And when you play point-and-click adventures for the second time, you have a tendency to kind of steamroll the puzzles pretty quickly.
I don't have time to play. I'm on duty.
Like I said, I think the in-game graphics actually look a little bit better than the stuff in the cutscenes, but maybe that's just me. That was a little horrifying, I'll admit.
But you don't look like a real cop. You don't even have a revolver.
Alright, so now we have our dialogue choices. So, point-and-click adventure, typical gameplay style. We have dialogue choices in almost an RPG fashion here. Each of these options will give us a different piece of information, and when the person is out of valuable information that they can give us, we can't talk to them anymore.
Disturbing a Swiss officer while he reads a crime novel is a very serious offense. I could arrest you.
But I have a pistol, and you don't.
Where in the world is it so dangerous that I'd need a pistol? And who might you be?
My name is Matthew Miller.
And where are you from, Matthew Miller?
From Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. But my mom
Dillsburg,
now.
home of the pickle.
Some rich old lady.
I apologize if anybody watching this is actually from Dillsburg. I should know because I'm from Vlasic Town, Ontario.
Impressive. You've already seen half the world. I've spent my entire life in Switzerland.
Must be really boring.
Where I come from, that is a capital offense to insult someone's country like that.
And what's with the gun? What do you need it for?
It's the Raven. He was gunned down, so now I need a pistol.
Dead birds don't need guns. No, do live ones.
You don't know who the Raven is, do you? He's the greatest burglar ever. He stole paintings from the Louvre, and those priceless eggs with gold and diamonds and stuff. And Bobby Dobbs says he replaced the crown jewels with rhinestones.
I know who the Raven was. Although, I don't quite buy that bit about the crown jewels.
Alright, basically the stage is set here. I'm going to skip through the dialogue choices. If you are the impatient type, you don't have to sit through these. You can just click through them, as you can see right here. But I don't really feel like most of the people that would be interested in this game are the kind of people that would want to click through this unless they were doing a second playthrough or something like that, because the real meat of the game, again, is the cinematic quality, the very professional voice acting, and the compelling way that the story is told through these kind of exchanges and the cutscenes as well. So, keep in mind that if you're playing this, if you're watching this and you're feeling impatient right now, it's probably not your kind of game, and that is totally a-okay. But if you're the kind of person that is into cinematic experiences like this, if you're the kind of person who enjoyed The Walking Dead, this might be a good opportunity for you to pick up another game that is a little similar, although with a different thematic elements going along with it, of course. There's no zombie apocalypse, at least as far as I can tell. That would be a nice change of pace. Maybe a nice change of pace. A strange change of pace. So again, I'm going to skip through the dialogue here. Essentially, this is an inspector who is famous. He's like the rival of the Master Thief, the Raven. And we don't know too much about the Raven thus far. It might be the real Raven. It might be the Raven's child. Nobody knows. At least we do not yet. So I'm just skipping over this. This is basically him doing his Sherlock deduction thing. where he's, you know, figuring or showing his powers of being able to deduce who people are and what they do based on little clues that he picks up from them. But let's skip past this for now, even though it is kind of woefully regretful for the game itself, for me to be doing this to the game itself, I guess I should say. But I'm doing this so we can get on to the puzzle. So anyway, I'm just taking the correct answers here. It's a trap, blah, blah, blah. So hopefully if you want to play the game, you didn't pay too close attention to this. So again, very dialogue-heavy game, and it's good. The dialogue is one of this game's strengths. There's been very few times where I was like, nobody says that. Then again, how would I know? I didn't live in 1960s Europe. This might be a new record, taking until like 11 minutes into the video to actually get some gameplay here. But very, very shortly, we should be introduced to some of the puzzles. Okay, do you want to learn about the game controls tutorial? No, I'm good. Okay, so right now, after the game loads in, it's going to load in, and we'll be able to finally take agency over our player. Good. So let's look at our inventory. First things first, we've got pills. Oh, let's put those back here. How do we get, oh, there we go, we right-click.
I'm supposed to take one if I have trouble. My daughter
So,
insisted, but
if we have heart trouble, we take those pills. We also have a wallet that we bought at a flea market. I don't know what we actually use those for just yet, but one thing I do like about this game as someone who is very bad at point-and-click adventure games is you can click on this, and it'll show you all hotspots in the game. So you can click that and you can see, oh, there's one over here and one over here. What I don't like about it, there's like a point system that doesn't matter to me. When I play point-and-click adventure games, I just want to get to the end. You know, I want to get the satisfaction from solving the puzzles. I don't need a high score mechanic to make it happen, but maybe some people are into that. But, you know, when you click this, it spends points. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is that they don't stay on the screen very long. But anyway, we'll go pick up our detective novel here. Usually you have to click on something once to examine it. Oh, I'll pick it up before I get off. Okay, so we don't need that yet. Usually you click on something once to examine it, and then the second time you get the opportunity to actually pick it up. So let's go talk to this violinist.
He's a good-looking fellow, and he's traveling through the most beautiful mountain landscape in the world. One can only hope that his violin is better tuned than he.
Sick insult, Constable Zellner.
Hello, sir.
Let's see who he is, and I'll let them go through the dialogue here.
You're a violinist. That's true. A wonderful instrument. The violin music touches the soul.
That's why I learned to play it.
And that's why I do YouTube videos.
No, orchestras aren't really part of my world.
A solo violinist. The best soloists travel a great deal and make a pile of money, or so they say.
In that case, I'm probably not one of the best.
Are you traveling to Istanbul non-stop?
No, I'll transfer in Venice to a ship. I'm on my way to Cairo.
Cairo?
I'm performing at the reception in the Egyptian Museum there.
Alright, one thing you will quickly find out is that absolutely everybody on this train is headed to Cairo for an exhibit at the Egyptian Museum where both eyes of the Sphinx are to be displayed together for the first time in like 500 years. But it is worth noting that, of course, we know that the eye of the Sphinx got stolen in the first kind of vignette that we had. So let's walk through the train a little bit, and this will set some more of the puzzles up for us. So I apologize, I'm going to skip through a lot of the dialogue here just to actually get to the part where we start solving puzzles. I will give you the backstory myself, even though I do not have a team of professional writers with me. This guy is a professor at the British Museum, which is the museum that was just burgled, but he is trying to act like he was not perturbed by the fact that the Eye of Sphinx was stolen. But there's something that he's not telling us. That's the way that I will set the stage for this guy, and he will actually introduce us to our first puzzle here.
The door. I can't open it.
We'll sort it out somehow. The compartment is locked.
But I didn't lock it. I don't even have a key. I asked the steward. He was going to bring me one, but he never came back.
Someone locked it.
Find the steward. He needs to bring me the key immediately.
Calm down, Professor. I'll see what I can do.
You don't understand. I have to get back in my compartment.
All right, just wait here.
Oh my god, why? I have to get back in my compartment. And then we're going to introduce to a new character here. Kind of reminds me of Kevin Kline, but anyway.
The label on the door reads Baroness von Trebitz. Blue blood on the Orient Express.
We are also going to be introduced to another character here. This is the butler James and the Baroness von Trebitz. She has lost her purse, so as you might expect, this is going to be our second puzzle. It was, I believe, stolen from the train platform in Zurich, which was the last stop that this train had. But anyway, again, I'm skipping through this. It's not necessarily the fairest thing to do to the game because the voice acting is indeed very good and the writing is good as well. And the characters, you know, believable, clever, and funny to be around as well. So I can't say enough good things about that despite the fact that I'm skipping over it. But we gotta solve some puzzles at some point here so you can get a feel. They are very point-and-click adventure-y, I will tell you that much. So this is going to be the final section where we are introduced to some new characters here. Essentially, what's remarkable about this is that this lady is our favorite author. That book that we were reading at the very start, she was the author of that book. She's basically the Agatha Christie of this game. So we have two characters that we're going to meet here. This American lady is the mother of the child that we met in the very opening section. I kind of feel like I'm describing the whole game here, but in any case. She is telling us that she is quitting writing, and we're like, oh man, that's really shitty, but she's also like a millionaire. Also, the fact that I'm clicking through this really rapidly makes it seem like she's completely deaf and communicating solely through eyebrow raises, which is pretty amazing. But we're asking her about everybody on the train right now. It is worth noting that, you know, the way you solve some of these puzzles is actually just through getting information through dialogue, like I am right now. Only I'm doing it at a much faster pace than would otherwise be possible. But anyway, she told us that the violinist has a money problem, which, if you are particularly astute, might make you think that maybe he is the guy most likely to have taken our purse. So, there's a lot of dialogue options to get through here. Let's just keep going. Missing purse, blah, blah, blah. And we'll continue going on here. She lets us know that her son is good at finding things. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. He's 7 years old. He's not really good at all that much, but I'll take your word for it, Mom. She seemed really offended by what I had to say. This is like the second to last area that we have here. Is the bar car. And there actually is finally some stuff that we can pick up. For example, examine the bowl. There's butterscotch in there. So we will take some sweets. We're not supposed to eat them because our wife told us that they'll make us even more portly than we already are. But we'll take them. And now we have something else in our inventory. So we have butterscotch, which will become handy in prying information out of some people. We can also go behind the bar, like so. And if you double-click on things, you move there more quickly as well. So there is a drawer here, which I don't believe we can do anything with, but there is a notepad, which we can take the pencil from. There is a... I thought there's a radio back here, and if I click that, and I turn it on, there's an achievement that you can get, but I already got that. It's just nice to have some more music in here, I guess. And there's also... There's scissors, but I can't take them, so we can leave here now. I'm very quickly, like, expediting the process of discovering all the elements. But as you can see, no, it's a lengthy process, and that's a good thing. It's kind of like a game that you can mull over, you know, you can exist in it for a while. We're at 20 minutes, and I've been speeding through as quickly as possible. This guy is going to tell us about the newspaper, but we don't need him. I think he's a non-essential character. There's also some toothpicks, I think. Yeah, examine the glass of toothpicks. Okay, now I think the stage is set for us to actually be able to solve this mystery of the missing purse. Alright, so we're going to take the toothpicks. And again, the one complaint that I would offer against this game, when I played Resonance last year, I thought the puzzles in Resonance were very kind of like Neo point-and-click adventure, like they were new style, and they were logical. You know, you're hacking into an email, you're doing social engineering and stuff like that. Some of them are still a little esoteric, but it seemed to make sense, whereas this game does suffer from what I would consider to be somewhat arbitrary point-and-click adventure design, which is essentially there's only, like... one item only does one thing. Like, for example, for that lock, there at some point you'll get a, not a pencil, but what is it? Not a toothpick. I forget. You pick up some kind of tool, but you can't use that to open the door. Your guy goes like, hey, this could be used to open most doors, but not this one. And I'm like, okay, I get it, I guess. Where? Oh, you know what? I actually do have to go all the way back out here. I apologize for this being kind of lengthy, but again, these games are not always necessarily the easiest to show in the kind of format that I show them off, but I should probably stop being so apologetic and talk a little bit more about the game itself. So we're going to walk all the way out here. Our very, very final section, the pathing sometimes looks very funny as well, but that is the most minor gripe I could possibly muster. If we come out here and then we talk to the people inside of this freight car, this is supposed to be like a serious gotcha moment, so if I didn't have to show it off, I would have preferred not to, but I guess we have to in order to move the story along. So essentially there's a safe on the train, and our old inspector friend, or constable friend from the British, or the Scotland Yard is here. And what's interesting about this is that we know that he was at the burglary as well, and it makes me feel a little bit suspicious that he's in both of these places at the same time. But the game does a very good, you know, classic style of making a number of people look like they could possibly be the villain. So anyway, we're just gonna skip through this again. That guy is a total caricature. And personal investigations, blah, blah, blah. He's not going to want to talk to us too much. Archaeologist got locked in his compartment. And, we will... Oh, might as well say wallets here. Like, it's a lost purse. You just want to talk to everybody, because sometimes you do need to talk to everybody in order to progress through the story. Anyway, so now I believe the puzzles are set in motion. So if I skip through this dialogue, I think if I examine the box, the kid will come up behind us and try to shoot us, not to spoil anything. But this will allow us to get everything else done. Good, okay, so the kid tried to shoot us. Let's get some actual stuff happening here. So I took the kid's pistol, and he's gonna be pissed at me. He's pretty tall for a 7-year-old kid. I will give him that, or maybe we're just exceptionally short or something. Now, 21 minutes in, we are gonna solve a puzzle. We might only do one over the course of the video, which again will save some meat for the people who actually buy the game. Maybe we'll do 2. So, she's gonna be mad that her son, or she's gonna be like, did our son do anything? Because he came through here and he was looking like he got hit in the face or something. But if I just skip through the dialogue, beautiful. Otherwise, this would be an 80-minute long video. Again, this first little part here did take me like, at least an hour and a half, maybe even closer to 2 hours to beat on my own. And I was lucky enough, or blessed enough to beat it without a walkthrough, which is rare for me when it comes to point-and-click adventure games. Okay, now we're finally going to be able to do things. You know, we can use our inventory. We can merge objects against one another to try to create something interesting if we want to. But here, the fun is going to start. How do you get a kid to stop being mad at you? Wait, I didn't want to do this. How do you get a kid to stop being mad at you? No! I want to come back this way. If you want to get a kid to stop being mad at you, give him some butterscotch. And we will listen to the dialogue that these guys are going to have in just a mere moment here.
Would you like a butterscotch?
You think you can bribe me?
I have no reason to. You made trouble and got punished for it. Take it as a peace offering.
Just 4?
If I'm faster than you, there'll only be 3.
Hey!
Friends again? All right then. And no dangerous nonsense anymore.
Okay.
Alright, so now we're going to ask about the missing purse.
Something completely different this time. The Baroness in the second compartment over there is missing her purse. Do you have any idea where it could be?
Do I ever?
Hmm?
That guy over there with the violin case?
What about him?
He picked up something in Zurich and put it in his violin case.
Really?
Yeah, and he made sure that nobody saw him.
But you saw him.
Uh-huh.
Did you also see what it was?
Nah, not really. But now that I think of it, it must have been the Baroness's purse.
I should look into it, shouldn't I?
I think so.
Alright, so we think that this dude has stolen the Baroness's purse. There's other dialogue options we'll do for this dude in a second. But we'll go interrogate him, and I'm taking the long way around when it comes to this puzzle, believe it or not. We could probably just solve it instantly here if we wanted to, but let's go through the dialogue first. Yes, the Baroness purse. Kinda looks like Toby-Wan from Join Dota. If you were watching this video and you understand the reference, tweet me a picture of these guys side by side. I'm interested to see how it turns out.
The passenger is missing her purse.
Without the ponytail, anyway.
Perhaps it was stolen. Really? Someone saw you with your violin case on the platform in Zurich.
What's the meaning of this? I didn't steal anything.
Nobody said you did. I just wanted to ask you whether you might have noticed anything on the platform.
Well,
Why did you think I was accusing you?
well, I thought, because you mentioned my violin case in the context of the purse.
Apropos, may I have a look at your violin? It must be a very extraordinary piece.
That's not possible. It's a genuine Guarneri.
Very valuable.
Very, and also very sensitive.
What could harm it here? Light? Air? May I ask you to open the violin case?
No, you may not. I'm not guilty of anything.
I'm afraid I have to insist.
Then I'm afraid you need a warrant. I will not stand back and let you rifle through my belongings.
Alright, so he doesn't seem guilty at all. What we can do if we open the window, from prior knowledge, I know that this dude hates when the window's open because it messes up his ponytail. So if we open the window, he's gonna get real pissed off about it, and he's gonna, like, come over here.
No,
Yeah, he wants some fresh air. The window stays open.
you're not alone on this train. I want the window open.
We shall see what he does, and this should give us some time to rifle through the violin case. He literally cannot stand air, which I guess is kind of the arbitrariness in this game. That, like, if he stole something and it's in the violin case, you think he would guard the violin case a little bit more closely. But hey, you know, point-and-click adventure games. So what I'm going to do here, there is a secret that we can do. I'm going to take my toothpick, and I'm going to put it in the runner of the window, which I believe is like the kind of track that the window can go up and down across, so it won't actually close. The toothpick will stop it. So by doing this, he should not be able to actually close the window. And as a result, we will have some time to actually look through his violin case. Once he gets up, which he will, because again, if things were not repeatable in point-and-click adventure games, the puzzle design wouldn't make any damn sense, I guess. He's thinking about it, he's getting up, and well, he's gone. And completely befuddled by this window here, we will take the opportunity to search his violin case as he just stares into space, contemplating the existential quandary of life itself. So, oh, I searched the purse, there we go.
What are you doing there?
I was taking your case for safekeeping, since it was left here unattended. When I picked it up, the cover unlatched.
I smell a Reddit post!
Ah, then no one else could have put this purse in your case.
Someone must have snuck it in, like you.
Aha, for sure. And you have a pistol in the case because...
I don't owe you an explanation. It's mine. I have a gun license. Now, take the damned purse to the Baroness and leave me in peace. Just get lost.
It won't be that easy. I'll report the incident to the Italian authorities in Venice.
You should probably, like, take that gun for safekeeping, because I'm pretty sure, I shouldn't say pretty sure, but I'm pretty worried that he's gonna murder everyone on this train and then himself before it arrives at its destination. In any case, I think this is a convenient time for me to stop this video, let's look at, of the Raven Legacy of a Master Thief, because if I go too much further, we're going to solve too many of the puzzles, and it's going to spoil things for people. Also, the video is starting to run a little bit long. Suffice it to say, there are enough tools at our disposal now to also open the door for this professor, and you can start doing that math yourself, and there is also a way for us to kind of advance the plot with the constable, or the inspector, and the safe that is in the freight car, and then advance the story even later beyond that. But, you know, if you're a fan of point-and-click adventure games, and you have a little bit of money to burn, I would not hesitate to recommend something like The Raven Legacy of a Master Thief. It kind of reminds me, it's like this year's Walking Dead, but instead of zombies, it's like an Agatha Christie novel. I have very positive impressions of this. In fact, this game is so good that it makes me feel like totally confirmed that point-and-click adventure games are not my genre. Like, as I play it, I'm like, objectively, this is really, really good, but I'm still not having that good of a time. That's the genre's fault. It just doesn't jive with me that well. If I was going to play a point-and-click adventure game this year, it would probably be The Raven Legacy of a Master Thief. I am having a lot of fun with it. The story is told really well. Really professional voice acting. Nothing really kind of rubs me the wrong way, except for the fact that it's priced pretty high. 25 bucks is going to be the kind of price point, I think, where a lot of people are going to be like, well, you know, I might pick it up on an impulse, so that's a little expensive. But, you know, there's definitely enough high-quality work here to warrant that price point as well. So it's just something you're going to have to ask yourself on a more personal level. But again, as always, there will be a link to the Steam page if you're interested in picking up the game. It is actually $23 for its opening week sale, $22.50 maybe. So if you pick it up early, you can save somewhere in the vicinity of 10%. Otherwise, 25 bucks. Steam store page will be in the video description. As always, thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.